Hello, hello, and welcome to our Thyroid and Hormone Masterclass today. I'm super excited to be here with you and really just have some hopefully insightful takeaways and breakthroughs and some new ideas and ahas for you as you're joining us. So if you don't want to take a moment to put your name and where you're joining us from in the chat, that would be great. Then we can kind of get to know each other. But for those of you that I have not yet met, my name is Amanda Hinman. I am the founder of Hinman Holistic Health, and together my team and I support women to really maximize their energy, mental clarity, their weight, and overcome thyroid and hormone imbalance challenges. So we are here to have a powerful conversation today. Super excited to be here with you. Jane from Pensacola, Florida. Welcome, Jane. So great to have you here. And Elizabeth and Diana, feel free to share with us where you're chiming in from. And I'm going to dive right in and share our screen so we can get to making some change. So if you can give me a thumbs up, are you able to see? Are we able to see the screen? Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, let's get started. Like I said, today we're talking about optimize thyroid and hormones. Discover the 5-step blueprint hormone thrivers use to balance their thyroid and hormones and increase their energy, have mental clarity, and feel amazing about their weight. And I am just going to ask that we all mute. If you haven't yet muted, please go ahead and mute yourself so we don't have any disruptions. So just to know if you're in the right place. This is for you if perhaps you have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, hypertension, insulin resistance, PCOS, anxiety, or other unwanted symptoms, right? You know you're in the right place if you've been struggling with weight gain, mood swings, insomnia, fatigue, a variety of symptoms, and they're interrupting your life. They're getting in the way. If you want to have more energy and increase mental clarity and optimal weight, and you're committed to improvement, right? We know that you want to have a new way of doing things. You know that you're worth it. Then you're in the right place. You're likely here because maybe you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed about there's so much information out there, so many different things. You probably tried several things, maybe had some success, and then not as much sustainability as you prefer. You don't want to make the wrong decision, right? You don't want to just waste time and money for something that's not going to work. Maybe you're not confident in your plan to optimize your health, and you've tried other diets, other workouts, other cleanses, and haven't had that sustainable success. Maybe you've even been thinking about, I don't know if I'm getting enough nourishment. I don't know if I'm getting the nutrients that my body needs because I'm just struggling. And that is chronic. It's been pervasive. So, you may be worried that you won't figure out what's going on. Why is my body experiencing these unwanted symptoms? I don't want to have my health trajectory continue to decline. And maybe you're questioning if you won't be as vibrant and present for your loved ones, right? For your kids, for your family, for all of the things that you want to show up and be your best at in life. So this is for you. I just want to make sure. I think we have some other people hopping in here. Yep, I think we're all good. This is for you. If you're resonating with any of these things, you're in the right place. So welcome. So glad you're here. Like I said, if you haven't yet, you can feel free to put your name, put where you're from in the chat so we can tune in there. And the reality is that there's only one way to change the circumstance, and that's really to take action. So I want to applaud you. You're here, you're showing up, especially those of you that are joining us live. This is taking action so you can create a different scenario for yourself. And so I applaud you for that. All right. So my promise to you today, we're going to be talking about a lot of information. We're going to talk about the 5-step blueprint women with hormone imbalances are using to increase their energy, to have mental clarity and peace of mind, to sleep deeply and wake up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated for the day, to optimize their weight so they can feel proud of their body and feel good in their clothes, and essentially to experience vitality in all areas. I've helped hundreds of women. We literally have worked with women in 150 cities at this point. So I know that this can be effective for you too. It really is a powerful, powerful process. And if you like what we talk about tonight, I will be sharing an opportunity for you to learn more about how you can, continue to lean into this work and continue to have support to feel amazing fast. So just so you know, again, check it all out. You're going to have tremendous value. And then if you want to continue on in the journey, then we can talk about what that would look like as well. So today we're talking about how to address thyroid and hormone imbalance. And really, there's a lot of different factors that come into play when we're looking at the hormones. It's not just a matter of just looking at one gland. It really is our thymus, the thyroid, what's happening in the brain and different organs and glands, what's happening with the adrenals, what's happening in the pancreas and the liver. So our whole body is an interconnected system. So when we try and look at one thing in isolation, that's going to leave us lacking for answers and for information. So we're going to talk about how to create that significantly improved health using a functional medicine root cause resolution approach, right? So that you can truly feel amazing. No more feeling like you're missing out on the real zest in your life. And I just want to see, does this sound like you? Do you wonder, like, what can I even do right now? I'm just unclear. Maybe you've been questioning your decisions. I have women all the time tell me, should I try intermittent fasting? I tried it, but I don't know if it's working. Should I try and go gluten-free? I don't know what is going to be most effective for my situation. Perhaps you've been wondering if certain medication or drugs are going to be inevitable to help manage symptoms. You've been restricting experiences and activities because of the way you feel. And maybe you think it's just genetic, as I get older, or for women our age, that these things are inevitable. If you feel or experience any of these things, first of all, it's not your fault. You are not alone. And we're going to be talking about the real problem. The real problem is that common approaches to treating hormone imbalances, particularly thyroid and hormone imbalances, are flawed and they are failing. Here's why I say that. 90% of what women think improves their thyroid and hormone health fails. It doesn't actually work. And worse, sometimes it causes more harm. So we're going to be talking about 5 keys to your success so that you don't have to be in that pattern. You don't have to be in that dynamic. We can change that around. And the only reason that I can share this with you is because I've been through this personally. My name is Amanda. Like I said before, I'm the founder of Hinman Holistic Health. I'm a women's hormone health expert. And my specialty is finding a better way to maximize your health by breaking down complex concepts and bringing a clear solution. I've designed a proven roadmap to creating naturally balanced hormones, and all you have to do is follow along. My experience, I'm a certified applied functional medicine health coach, and I've studied over 100 different dietary theories. I founded a wellness company called Hinman Holistic Health, and together our team has supported hundreds of women to reclaim their health from the terrors of Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, insulin resistance, anxiety, PCOS, hypertension, and more symptoms and diagnoses, just to name some. But if you're in this place, like I said, we definitely have a lot of experience in supporting women so that they no longer struggle with the effects of these different conditions. You may have come across my work or seen us on different, places out there, but really what I think is most important is not so much the quote unquote glossy stuff that looks good on paper. It's really understanding that even though women seek out my support now, it wasn't always that way. In fact, I experienced a diagnosis that changed my life. At age 33, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I was told by my doctor that my body was attacking itself, that my TPO antibody numbers were off the chart. He had never seen numbers that high, and that I was likely to develop multiple autoimmune conditions if my life continued in this current direction. And I remember just sitting across from him, being in that room and being in complete and utter shock. I was totally, like, it felt like it came out of the blue. I was totally disarmed. I didn't know what was going on. At that time, I had 3 young daughters, and this was when I was in my 4th pregnancy. So I started really getting scared and worried about what does this mean? Like, multiple autoimmune conditions, like, what does this mean for the future of my health and our family's health, and how this would affect and limit my life? And I went through a range of emotions, feeling first in denial, I was just blindsided. Then I remember feeling completely angry and resentful. Like, what in the world? How could this happen? I thought I was a healthy person, and it seemed like this came out of the blue. I had no warning. And so I was really furious. And then I just started to get really down and almost hopeless because I was trying a lot of things and I didn't know what the answers were. And 20 minutes after my diagnosis, my worst nightmare happened. My oldest daughter at the time, she was 8. She had always been a highly sensitive girl, and she was, prone to anxiety, but she started to develop such extreme anxiety. She was having between 10 to 15 seizures in a day, and literally could not make it through a 24-hour period episode free until she got to the point of being on 4 different benzodiazepine medications just to make it through. She was basically like in a haze and was not my witty, smart, spontaneous, energetic girl that we always knew. She was so medicated, and we were told that she would never be able to drive a car, that she would be on medication to manage her seizure activity and her anxiety. And every single part of me was devastated. I just kept thinking, why is this happening? This doesn't make sense. I thought our family is healthy. We eat salads. We eat a lot of vegetables. We exercise. We're active. How is this even possible? And then I started feeling really bad. Is this my fault? Like, did I create a situation where it impacted my health and now was carried on to my daughter? What in the world will our lives be like? I remember having mornings where I would be shaking in bed because I knew that within the first 15 minutes, she would wake up and start having seizures when her morning cortisol levels went up. And so I really couldn't wrap my head around, how will this change my life? And am I all alone in this journey? And I dove into research, right? There's a ton of information you can find out there. And it's a matter of like, what is going on? We were told by some of the best pediatric neurologists down at Lurie Children's, a major hospital in the city of Chicago, that, she was likely to just have inherited this dynamic, and she would be managing it for the rest of her life. And every part of my being knew that we had to find different answers. We had to understand why this was happening, not just manage the symptoms. So again, researching, I was just overwhelmed and defeated, because it really is devastating to not only have your own health challenges and feel exhausted, but then to be fearful for your child. And then slowly that shifted to a sense of determination. There was no other scenario than to find some answers. And my mindset became family first. We have to take care of our family and see what is going on, what is going to help us get through this. My mindset became stronger. What do I need to do? How can I learn? What can I pick up? What's one new piece of information? How can I start to affect change and help both of us to heal? And this shift will happen for you too. If you're feeling in a place of just, like I said, overwhelm or defeat or hopelessness or frustration, that will shift where you start to feel empowered, and it's very liberating. It's super energizing. So let's talk about what these keys to success are so that you can take them on for yourself. The first is that, it's possible. We definitely, in a 9-month time frame, I was able to wean off my medication. My daughter was able to wean off all 4 of her benzodiazepine medications. She was taking 12 pills a day as an 8-year-old, and she was able to wean off of all of them and has been seizure-free, episode-free ever since. I have been healthy and balanced in my hormones ever since. So it's really about finding a new normal and helping your body to recreate a new environment for thriving. So this is our family today. I feel stronger and confident in my body. And so does my daughter. Like, I know it's really understanding and knowing how your body works and what works well for you specifically, so you can have that long-term confidence. Keeping your energy levels high, just feeling so grounded and peaceful. And that allows you to have more vitality for all areas of life, right? So you can be happy and loving your life. Imagine what your life will look like when you're no longer in the pursuit of another diet or another workout routine, and it's just running your life, right? Imagine when you feel calm, engaged, lighthearted in your most important relationships. Imagine when you look forward to meeting friends for a fun night out spontaneously, because you have tons of energy at the end of the day. right? When you're excited to add special activities and memorable experiences into your vacation itinerary. When you're able to put together a meal that everyone in your whole family enjoys, and it's not battles, it's not feeling, just like a chore, a nightmare. When you're not worried about whether or not you will be there for your child's wedding or the birth of a grandchild in the future, because you know your long-term health. We're talking health over the next 20, 30 years is strong and sustainable. That's what I want for you. But the only way to get there is to really replace some of our old thoughts and our old approaches with new understanding, right? Old way of thinking is, what's the drug to manage the symptom? What is the new diet plan that I need? Maybe I need to have more exercise, or I need to have the special isolated approach. The new understanding is that common approaches are flawed and failing. We cannot rely on what has been out pervasive in the marketplace. So we're going to talk about these 5 key discoveries. Discovery number 1 is that chronic conditions need more than acute solutions. So I say this lovingly because I was blindsided. I felt like my diagnosis and then my daughter's diagnosis, quote unquote, came out of the blue. Well, here's the reality. Nothing comes out of the blue. It's a series of impairment, blockage, depletion that just eventually gets to a breaking point. So when we try and think about acting immediately to resolve or to soothe the unwanted symptom, sometimes that's not always the best thing to do. What we want to do instead is realize that your hormones act like a table. They all work together and they signal each other. There is massive interconnectedness when we're looking at our levels of cortisol. It correlates strongly with thyroid and progesterone and estrogen and insulin and testosterone. All of these are synchronicity. They're connected. So you can't look at one part of the puzzle and expect to have a useful understanding of what's going to make sense of the whole picture. I'm just going to give you an example. A woman, Susie, that I worked with was struggling mightily with thyroid imbalance, and she had hypothyroidism, and she was prescribed medication for her thyroid imbalance. But really what we found out when looking further was that she had really low rock bottom cortisol, and you need to have cortisol as a primer for our hormone receptors to even utilize and take in thyroid hormone. So her doctor, unfortunately, had never looked at her cortisol levels. She didn't know that. And so just continuing to put more and more thyroid hormone into her body wasn't solving what was really the interconnected problem, right? So it's knowing that we get to look at a bigger picture. This is when it's critical to know what is out of balance. Looking at these 6 primary hormones and how they work together gives you that more complete picture. Our immediate reaction is sometimes to say, how do I fix this right now? What's the tool? What's the solution? But my question to you is, would you try to fix an uneven table if there was a saw that was going to chop down every leg that was in close range? That wouldn't make sense. Your table's just going to get imbalanced again. Even if you patch it up and put the leg of the stool back, and then that saw is going to chop it again, you're going to be back to where you started. So is there a saw that's chopping down your table legs? Is there something that's still actively creating imbalance in your hormones? If there is, we need to ask, why is that happening? Why is that imbalance continuing to perpetuate? These are some of the most common reasons. Primary thyroid and hormone imbalance is typically because our hormone levels are suboptimal, or hormone blockages are increasing and getting in the way. Secondary causes are because of our behaviors, our choices, our conditions in our environment or in our life, diseases, disorders, and certain medications that can cause impairment. So we get to look at these and pick out for your specific body, for your unique situation, what is actually getting in the way. Sometimes it's a matter of your hormone table is off balance from the start. So we need to know what is going to help support it, what's going to bring it back into balance. So should you act immediately to, respond to an unwanted symptom? No, we need to identify what is the root cause. And this is where functional medicine science is really valuable, taking an individualized, science-based approach to the interconnected factors in your body. So we help our women to identify the root cause of their thyroid and hormone imbalance, to look at the other factors. And as Stacey shared, I'm amazed at how little my doctor cared to investigate things further. When I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, I was told to go on levothyroxine. That was my only option to take for the rest of my life. Why would he not look into this more? In her situation with Stacy, she actually had an insulin problem. She had insulin resistance, and it was getting in the way, elevating her estrogen and blocking thyroid hormone. So we had to get the insulin and the estrogen under control in order for her thyroid to balance, right? But her doctor didn't even explain that to her. She didn't realize that. So why is this important? Because hormones are the messenger molecules in the body. They communicate to every single cell throughout the body. And when we see an unwanted symptom, it's kind of like their way of waving the red flag, saying, hey, look, there's something off balance here. There's something going on. We want you to take a look and see how we can change this dynamic. So you get to be your own health detective and start to really put together the pieces of the puzzle so that you understand what else is at play. What else should I be looking at? So step number one is to look at the root cause, not just manage the symptom immediately. Key discovery number two is that healthy hormones require a consistent supply of key nutrients. Again, remember, we said hormone levels tend to diminish and go down, and hormone blockages increase. And that's what causes a lot of the imbalance. So oftentimes we've been told the wrong information, that our body's incapable. For me, they said, oh, you have a thyroid problem. You don't have it. Your body is attacking itself. Well, no, I actually had a hormone blockage problem. Because in my case, I had really elevated levels of estrogen that was blocking thyroid action and low levels of cortisol. I had a double whammy there. So we get to understand that nutrients are the center for all function in the body. Every single cell is nutrient dependent. So just looking at this cascade, in order to make adequate levels of cortisol and testosterone and estrogen, for example, we need to have cholesterol. So this is really eye-opening for many women that we've supported that have been on statin medication because of elevated cholesterol for a number of years. Well, that may be a tool, but we have to understand the implications. If we have a medication that is intentionally suppressing cortisol, that is going to affect all of the downstream dynamics that happen, right? So we have to take into account how are we otherwise supporting through nutrition and key interventions when that is in play as one of the factors, one of the pieces of the puzzle. But you can see we need thyroid, we need vitamin A, we need B vitamins, we need cholesterol just to make these other downstream hormones. So if we don't have enough of the key nutrients at the top, we're going to struggle with adequate hormone levels. The other side of it, with increased hormone blockages, if we don't have key nutrients, this is for phase 2 and phase 1 liver detoxification. Liver is an organ that's really, really impactful when it comes to hormone health. So the first step of phase 1 biotransformation in the liver requires a ton of nutrients. You can see B vitamins, folic acid, fat-soluble vitamins, antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E, milk thistle, calcium, glutathione, a lot of nutrients there. And then it goes on to the second phase of biotransformation in the liver, which requires a lot of amino acids. And these come from our proteins, right? Things like glycine, taurine, glutamine, cysteine, sulfur. If we don't have adequate and consistent daily amounts of these nutrients, it's no wonder that we're going to end up with blockages of hormones. This was me. I was running around, raising 3 daughters, skipping many meals. It's no wonder my body got imbalanced, right? So we get to be empowered. We get to understand where your body is specifically and what nutrients are going to help it to do its designed function. So the key to your success, the step discovery number 2 is to replenish nutrients, specifically nutrients that your body needs. The key discovery number 3 is that healthy hormones aren't balanced by what you eat. They are balanced by what you absorb. And these sometimes can look like 2 very different things. So if your body were a plant, imagine that for a moment, your body is like a plant. Most women fail to consider when they're eating salads and smoothies and supplements that it may not be getting to the soil, right? We need to have those nutrients be absorbed in our soil, which is our gut. Our gut is like the soil that helps that plant to thrive and to grow. So in many people's situations, even if they're eating some healthy foods, if they haven't adequately assessed the absorption of those nutrients, it may be doing a whole lot of work with very little benefit. right? So we get to look at how well our roots in the gut are absorbing those nutrients. And the roots are these little villi. I think of them like little fingers that are all located along your gut lining. They help to absorb the nutrients that are coming through your digestive system. So we want to assess the health and the quality of those roots. Their job is really, really important. In fact, you have enough villi in your body to cover an entire football field. If it was laid out and spread out, kind of hard to imagine because it doesn't seem like it would fit in there, but that just goes to show how vitally important their job is, because every single cell inside of your body is dependent on nutrients to function optimally. So if we have poor gut health, it's going to be bad for our hormones because we're not going to absorb those nutrients, and it's going to create imbalance, right? When we can't absorb, we're going to be stuck with leftover imbalance in our hormones. The other question is, are the nutrients making it to your soil? Are they even getting down far enough into the soil in the gut? And one of the things that is very, very common is low levels of stomach acid or hydrochloric acid. This could be a factor. In fact, many women tell us that they actually feel that they have too much stomach acid because they have symptoms such as, feeling full quickly after eating meals, or even like a burning or uncomfortable sensation sometimes after eating. Different, factors that we often think of as, acid reflux. Most people tend to then take a proton pump inhibitor or some other type of Tums or over-the-counter medication that's going to suppress and lower your stomach acid. When 9 times out of 10, the exact opposite is actually beneficial. Because when we don't have enough stomach acid or hydrochloric acid, it doesn't signal to that esophageal sphincter at the top of the esophagus that closes off from the stomach to close shut. So when you start to eat, what happens is a little bit of the food and the stomach acid bubbles up into the esophagus, and that gives you that sensation of discomfort. However, it's not because there's too much sitting in there and brimming over the top. It's actually because there wasn't enough. So it didn't signal for the sphincter, the little gadget, to close. So this is one of the most common things I see, is that we actually get to help women assess and then determine support to improve the strength of their hydrochloric acid so that they can actually break apart and get the nutrients to their gut so that the villi can then absorb them, right? So there's a couple steps for us to investigate and say, hey, what's going on in your particular situation? Then we get to ask, does your soil, the villi and the gut lining, have the proper balance? Because we probably have been familiar with the term the microbiome. We have microscopic organisms and bacteria and viruses and all these little bugs that are actually probiotics that are beneficial. They actually create different enzymes. They create different short chain fatty acids. They're responsible for even vitamin production, neurotransmitter production. We rely on our microbiome extensively for optimal healthy functioning. But if we don't have the proper type of balance and we have unhealthy, opportunistic bugs, that's going to cause a problem. So does your soil have the right balance in the microbiome, right species present? And then are your roots working properly? Disease and stress reduce absorption. So these are all factors, like pieces of the puzzle, to look at to say, how can we help support your best absorption and health? And then finally, are we eating the right nutrients in the right amounts, right? These are the building blocks for balanced hormones, as I shared. So things, fruits and vegetables to help with our vitamins and minerals, proteins and healthy fats, fiber. These are really critical to help get adequate nourishment to our cells. I often get asked, what's the right diet? And the reality is there is no one right diet. It's really knowing your body and knowing how your body is, what it's needing, where it's at currently, and what it needs to replenish. So we help people to customize and to understand what their body needs specifically, right? Like Kendra, she came in, she actually used to get breakout and rashes when she first started working with us, because she's like, I don't know what it is. It's like certain foods, I can't even identify it, but I just break out and have like rosacea on my cheeks. And I've had all this bloating and waking. I feel like my stomach is perpetually puffy and I don't know what it is. And so it was really through helping her to discover where are the imbalances, where are the nutrient depletions and the lack of absorption happening in her specific body, that she totally changed this around. I mean, she not only released 15 pounds, she no longer struggled with any bloating. and didn't have any skin or allergic breakouts. So she says, this is amazing. Like, I feel so empowered with my nutrition, and I can tell that my body is getting what it needs. I have tons more energy. I stopped feeling bloated and breaking out in rashes after eating certain foods. Working with you and your team was the best investment I've ever made. So again, the body is resilient. It has tremendous capability to transform when you have empowered, knowledgeable information. So the second or the third key to success is to restore your digestive fire and capability so that you can absorb the nutrients. Now, the old way of thinking is that my body and my hormones are permanently imbalanced, like it's just kind of inevitable with age. This is what happens. And, I'm kind of stuck with it. So I want to invite you to think about, if you're in that space, radical change as possible. I mean, I know what it's like when you feel like you're blindsided. In fact, like I said, I was a cheerleader at the University of Iowa. I was very, very active and very involved. I was somebody who was a group fitness instructor. I taught sports performance classes and trained professional athletes. I ate salads daily. So I self-identified as somebody who was incredibly healthy. And then when I had Hashimoto's diagnosis and my daughter started having seizures, that was completely stripped away. My identity of who I thought I was completely shattered. And that was devastating. And that really led me to discover this key discovery number 4, is that symptoms does not have to equal settling. Here's where you get to utilize antidotes. And these antidotes are really, really important. So I want to talk about something that comes up. This is a silent saboteur that I see over and over and over with the women that we get to support. So I want to try this on and see if you can relate to any of these scenarios. So would you say that at some point in the last year, you felt inspired and felt maybe even a little eager and excited to, like, okay, I'm going to get my eating on track. I'm going to start a new routine, or I'm going to join this gym and start to work out more consistently. And then life got busy and you kind of fell off and you gave up after a few weeks. So you fell off and you said, why bother? Right? Or, okay, let's try this one. If that's not the case, in the past month, have you experienced 2 or more unwanted symptoms, things like bloating or fatigue or weight gain, or, some type of skin irritation, some type of headaches, any unwanted symptom, and you felt overwhelmed at how to resolve these symptoms? You don't want them, but part of you wonders, is it even possible to completely resolve this so I don't have to deal with this ever again? Or have you been to doctor's appointment in the past year and they've been told everything is fine, but you don't feel amazing? And you've even maybe contemplated getting some additional lab work, looking at some gut health, looking at maybe your hormones, but you just haven't done it yet. Everything else has become more important and it hasn't happened. Right? Or maybe in the last month, you've woken up at least once feeling exhausted, feeling depleted, and not getting the restorative sleep that you truly need. Maybe at some point in the last few days, you have eaten something for convenience or satiation and comfort, and then you end up feeling bloated or feeling, some other reaction, felt unwell or bad about, guilty about your choices. Or maybe you put so much work into your professional career, into your family, and caring for others, and you still don't feel good yourself. So you wonder, is this sustainable? Like, I just can't keep doing this. If you have felt 2 of these, any of those scenarios I described, then I have a feeling there may be some of this why bother syndrome happening, right? We get discouraged. It seems too hard. And I want to introduce some new perspectives in the antidote. The cool thing about in the plant world, everything that is poisonous or that can be detrimental has within 12 feet its natural antidote. So it's kind of cool how in our sphere in nature, we naturally have the opposite, the antidote, the solution in close proximity to the problem. And I'm going to venture a guess that share this perspective that we also can use that same approach and apply an antidote. So if you have had this belief that, it's too overwhelming and confusing and I don't know what will work, so why even bother? Right? Has anyone ever been there? I've been there. If you've ever felt that, then the antidote is, okay, so how can I break this down? How can this be less overwhelming, less confusing? It's to utilize a proven process that has been working for many other people and that allows for customization. That's key, because you are a unique person. You do have different life circumstances. Your body is not the same as everyone's. But having a process that has been proven and allows you to customize is the antidote. Belief number 2, I cannot stick with it. I've tried, and I can do it for a period of time, maybe even 2 or 3 months, but then I fall off and back on the wagon again, right? So what is the antidote? The antidote is that your solution must include mindset, behavior change support, and loving accountability, because that's how we create new neural pathways and change for the long term. It must include those things. If any health solution does not, then I venture a guess that you're likely going to be on the merry-go-round of repeat again at 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now. And belief number 3, I can't experience true vitality and optimal weight as I get older. So the antidote is to say, question that. Is that actually true? Is that actually valid? Because if you surround yourself with evidence and examples of the possibility, your brain starts to process and understand what we see evidence of. So we have to put ourselves in places, in communities, in groups, surround ourselves with examples of where we want to be going, right? We can't expect to stay the same and make no change and then think that that will change for us. So those are the 3 things that are really critical to how to step out of the why bother syndrome. A lot of times we're looking at it as this narrow little lens. We're looking at one part of it and we get really, I work with a lot of them who get really, really focused on what is the nutrients I need to have? What is the supplements that my body needs? And that's a part of it. That's a little sliver, but there's a much broader picture when it comes to creating sustainable, long-term, I'm talking change that can affect the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life. We don't want to focus on just the little cracks in the surface. We want to make sure that the whole pavement is solid for you. If you can more purposefully activate your parasympathetic mode, we talk about the parasympathetic versus the sympathetic stress response mode, you can have your nervous system relax, and then it can digest, it can rest, it can heal. The most insidious part of our own lives is our thoughts. So when we have judgment of self and others, speculation, rumination, the voice in your head, that is the most critical part that will perpetually affect your healing journey. So it must be part of the process. And that's why the step number 4 is reset your thinking. Have tools and support and strategies to change those neural pathways, to have new perspectives, to have examples of possibility around you so that you can change your thoughts. And Elise shares, in this program, taught me how to understand my body and to think differently. It allowed me to step out of my comfort zone and set goals and then take steps to achieve them. I'm a better person, a better wife, mother, and friend because of our work together. So she really embraced, she was somebody who was struggling with anxiety when we first met. And she knew that it was affecting, she had been diagnosed with Crohn's disease. She knew it was affecting her digestion. It was affecting so many different areas of her life. And in addition to getting the nutrients in, right, in addition to helping her digestion, this was a critical piece. It's helping her to have new tools and new perspectives of how to approach life. Because if we don't change the thoughts and the meaning that we give things, we'll just be repeating that over and over. And then key discovery number 5 is that long-term vitality includes signaling to your body that your environment is safe. Again, going back to that nervous system, our internal environment is constantly surveilling and assessing, what is the status of your world? Is it safe? Can we relax? Can we heal? Can we digest? Or do we have to be hypervigilant and on high alert? We come into contact with just the world that we live in today. There are so many things, even inside of our home, that create toxicity And your body is designed to handle a fair amount of toxic load, right? We all have a different toxic threshold. What we talk about is what is your total toxic threshold? And knowing that dependent upon the nutrients that you have in your liver to help with those detoxification systems, right? And what your status of your body is and your hormone levels, it can be really powerful and really beneficial to remove or reduce some of these chronic toxic exposures. And now listen, that can be massively overwhelming. So it's all about breaking it down and take simple steps to make huge change. Your skin is like a giant mouth. So thinking about what are the things that you're putting on your skin on a regular basis. The average woman uses 9 products with 62 toxic ingredients by 10 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of wild, right? When we think about just the statistics. So thinking about how are we informing our body about the safety of the environment that it's living in. And we want to not overwhelm, focus on the things that you can influence. Balance of body, mind, and environment is key. So again, the 5th step here is removing excess toxins so that you can stay below your total toxic threshold for your body specifically. So a couple questions for you. Does your health approach need fixing? Do you struggle with unbalanced hormones, poor gut health, possibly high stress, restless sleep, muscle wasting, mood swings? Do you struggle with disempowered thoughts, lack of decisive action, loss of trust in self, procrastination, ignoring the signs, or worry? And do you know how to fix these things? Right? Fixing can only get us to baseline. I want you to go beyond fixing and have the resiliency to be prepared for life challenges, right? Life will always throw us curveballs. It will not be smooth sailing every single day and every single month of the year. So we have to be resilient. We actually have to have a little bit of fortitude to go beyond just getting by. So again, going back to these 5 steps helps your body build that resiliency, build that vitality and optimal health. So we want to get rid of the old thinking with drugs. What's the new diet? What's the exercise that I need to push myself harder? What is that isolated approach? And realize this new understanding. Chronic conditions need more than acute solutions. You don't necessarily need to jump into symptom management immediately. It's about identifying the root cause. Some critical questions to ask yourself. Do you know, is there a short leg or two on your hormone table? Is there something that's off balance? What causes this imbalance? What else could be causing the imbalance? And where were my hormones imbalanced to start with? So I have some making up to do and some compensating to realign, right? These are some important questions to know for yourself. The next thing is old way, salads, smoothies, supplements will solve any problem. Well, maybe they will, but we have to know it's not just what you eat, it's what you're actually absorbing. So thinking about some critical questions to ask yourself, am I eating the right kinds and the right amounts of nutrients? Are nutrients making it to my soil? Are they getting all the way down into the GI tract? Does my soil have the right balance of bugs so that it can help to produce those enzymes, those neurotransmitters? 90% of our serotonin is produced in the gut. 85% of our dopamine is produced in the gut. If we don't have those, it's really going to impact our mood and stability. Are my roots working properly? These are really important questions to know and to start to puzzle piece for your body. The old way of thinking, why bother syndrome, right? It's not worth it. We just disassociate. We kind of ignore, disconnect. That was me for sure. Our new understanding is that symptoms does not equal settling. We can utilize these antidotes and change our thoughts. So some critical questions. Am I focused on the things that I can influence? Do my thoughts need fixing? Does my environment need fixing? Do I know how to do these things? And am I prepared for when life throws us curveballs? So I have that resiliency. If you don't know the answers to these questions, then I know it's possible for you to learn. It absolutely is, right? I have spent a tremendous amount of time and resources to learn this information. And you can too. It's very empowering, and it leaves you in a place of long-term confidence and stability. However, it can take a lot, right? It's a large financial investment and a large time investment. So it's really, really critical to think about, are we doing everything we can right now to prevent those sleepless nights, to prevent chronic exhaustion, to prevent fear about life-threatening diagnosis now or in the future, to stop self-loathing your body and missing out on memorable life experiences because you just aren't showing up the way you want to, and to prevent becoming one of the 80% of women who have been diagnosed with 2 or more lifelong chronic diseases by the time they reach age 65. That's just the reality, unfortunately, in our world right now. What you do in the 5, 10, 15 years before age 65 matter in a significantly big way, because it's setting the stage for what is to come. So what do you think? I know that you are here for a reason. You showed up today, right? You are empowered. You're wanting to learn. You're seeking information, and I applaud you in that. You're tired of trying to figure out every diet, exercise, or health hack that hits your inbox. That's exhausting. We all know it. You want to have real change in your health, more energy, more mental clarity, peace of mind, happiness, and less of the guilt, blame, and shame battle. Deep down in your heart, you know that giving attention to your health is a key to the quality of your relationships and finally feeling confident in your body and in all areas of your life. It's time for you to step forward and become empowered in your health with a proven process. A process that takes all the guesswork out of the implementation and secures your health with sustainable, customizable, repeatable habits that create long-term vitality. Remember, nothing I've shared with you today is theory. I've used every single one of these strategies to radically transform my own health and the health of women in over 150 cities across the US and Canada. We are not extra special. I don't have access to exclusive resources and tools. These women and me just used a process that works. If we can do this, you can too. So do you want to know how to create long-term vitality, mental clarity, and optimal health in the next 3 months without having the deprivation and guilt? Then I invite you to lean in here. This is the Natural Hormone Solution Program, where we utilize these 5 steps to help you identify what's going on in your specific body. Then replenish key nutrients that you need, restoring that digestive fire, resetting your thoughts, creating new possibilities, and removing toxins that disrupt hormone communication. The complete A to Z blueprint for creating an empowered transformation in your thyroid and hormone health that leaves you feeling energized, clear, and joyful, because you build massive self-trust. And it quickly puts your healthy habits on autopilot because you change from the inside out. So the Natural Hormone Solution is a comprehensive program. Dr. Kim, my good friend, she found us at the exact time she needed. She was going through a huge transition in her family and her career, and she felt like her life was totally overwhelmed and out of control. Before working in this program, my diet and my routine was a mess. Now she knew, she's like, I know what I need to be doing. I'm just not doing it, right? No blame, no shame, no guilt here. It's just a recognition of, hey, I'm not doing the things that could be beneficial for me. And having simple tools, having a safe space where you never feel judged or made to feel small, she was able to add an extra hours into her day. She felt like things just got done with so much more ease and grace. The greatest gifts I've received are an increased energy, peace of mind, and pride in my ability. This is priceless. So let's talk about, again, the keys to your success. We talked about identifying the root cause, utilizing a functional medicine, individualized science-based approach to identifying why the blockage, impairment, or depletion is occurring in your body. So within these trainings, you're going to have specific deep dives into the different hormone levels and what is at play in your body. So you can problem solve and puzzle piece and put it together. Step number 2, we talk about which key nutrients are needed for your unique body in order to refuel and to kickstart your metabolism. In particular, in the training, there's specific trainings about what your primary care physicians might be missing in regular, everyday annual lab work. Reminder, they're looking at the reference range. Well, the reference range is showing us what 95% of the population have tested in between. Unfortunately, in America, especially, and in Canada, 95% of the population includes a lot of sick people. So simply because we're within the reference range does not mean it's necessarily even close to being optimal, right? So we break that down so you can pinpoint where your body needs added support. Step number 3, restoring digestive fire. It's not just about what you eat. It's important to digest and to absorb nutrients so that you can feel satisfied and release and optimize weight. So looking for the signs, we give you ways to test to see your stomach acid levels, to understand and to see what is the health of your gut microbiome. In step number 4, evolve the way you respond to life stressors and recognize how your thoughts have been holding you back from true vitality so you can respond in a new way and experience peace. It's kind of like that, we always talk about that reminder of putting your hand on the stove. You want your nerve endings to be working so that you pull your hand away. Well, we get to reshape our understanding of negative emotions. It gets to be a guidance indicator to say, hey, the way you're thinking about that right now is actually detrimental to your health and your overall objective. So we have tools and resources to help you create new neural pathways so that you can shift those with much more speed. And step number 5, a step-by-step approach to minimize environmental triggers that are disrupting hormone balance and cellular communication. So you can clean up your home environment, control the things that you can influence without overwhelm. What you will create, time-saving process that combines physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. A customized self-care roadmap to charge up your energy and help you move past obstacles that derail and distract you from health-promoting habits. See real evidence of change in your unwanted symptoms and maximize your progress by reducing overwhelm and disengagement with healthy changes. And what you get is the complete natural hormone solution program with weekly trainings available to fit your schedule so you can watch on your own time at your own demand, 100% online, over 30 training videos, and over 20 cheat sheets and checklists and resource tools. Also, we have some really great bonuses. So included in this is a private one-on-one hormone review session with myself or my team to figure out where you want to go, what you hope to achieve with your health, and why that's important to you. And then we'll figure out what things are like for you now and uncover those obstacles that have been getting in your way. So you can finally craft a game plan to improve your health and hormone balance for the long term. Bonus number 2 is you have 6 live inspiration and amplification sessions to provide that loving accountability, life-changing celebration, and connection with a community of other women who are on the same journey for shared best practices. Again, this is that evidence of possibility is really powerful, and doing it in support of each other makes the whole process so much more enriching and enjoying. Bonus number 3, our resource shop and healthy hormone meal planner to save you time on implementing the most effective healthy habits for long-term sustainable health. And bonus number 4, our last one, I'm all in bonus. This is our hormone balancing hypnosis to help you create new neural pathways and release unconscious blocks that make health transformation challenging. A lot of times we think we can just do it with our willpower. The reality is we have to go deeper than that. We have to change what's unconsciously blocking us so it's not as much effort and struggle to lock in healthy habits. So if you're ready to increase your energy, experience mental clarity, and optimize your weight, you might be asking, what is the investment for this? Right? Everything together, plus all of these 4 bonuses. Well, the total value of the hormone education trainings, the cheat sheets and checklists and resources, the bonus of the private review session, the 6 live inspiration and amplification sessions, our resource shop and hormone healthy meal planner, and our hormone balancing hypnosis. The total value of the program is $7,490. We have an opportunity for you, a special today, to invest in the Natural Hormone Solution Program for only $399 today and 2 installments of $399 to follow. So you can choose to get started in the Natural Hormone Solution Program and have options. $399 for 3 payments in total, or $997 one-time payment. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat here the link for those that are interested. So it's in the chat is the link for this option. You can take a look at it. Like I said, again, here is the way that you can sign up. And we want to make this as simple as possible for you. So the most flexible plan, again, is that 3 installments of $399, or our best value is 1 payment of $997, and you can save $200 with that option. You will see on the registration page, it has all of the details and information. And then the final step at the bottom is just to choose simply which payment option works best for you. If you'd rather make that investment one time of $997, or the 3 payments of $399. And then immediately you'll be able to receive your login for our members area and access your training and start to dive in right away. And if you do the work and you show me your results and you're still not satisfied, I will gladly give you a refund. This is our satisfaction guarantee. I feel so confidently about the possibility of improvement for you, especially when you're ready and you show up and you do the work, that we have a 30-day full money back 100% guarantee. So again, the total value of all of the trainings in the hormone education series, our hormone resource checklists and cheat sheets, our private hormone review session, 6 live inspiration and amplification sessions, plus our resource shop and hormone healthy meal planner, and also the important hormone balancing hypnosis, totally valued at $7,499, is available today for you to help reduce the overwhelm, keep away from not knowing what to eat, what to avoid, those difficult doctor's conversations where you don't really know what's going on. You feel frustrated and disempowered. You're questioning your decisions. Should I try this? Is this going to work? I don't know. And maybe struggling with that worry or fear of the future of your health. Going it alone can be slow. It can be stressful and definitely uncertain. And it costs a ton of time and money. So what successful women with hormone imbalances do is they say, first of all, what do I want? Right? They get really clear. I know that I want to improve my health. I want less pain. I want more energy. I want my body to get into balance. And they say, well, why do I want this? Why is this important to me? Well, listen, I want to prevent the symptoms that I'm experiencing on a daily basis. I want to feel energized and good in my life. I want to be present for my loved ones and have freedom to feel confident and feel good in my body. So then they ask, okay, who can help me? This is the pathway to empowerment. This is the pathway to progress. If they sit there and struggle, how can I do it alone? That's where we end up feeling disempowered, losing hope, and wasting time and money. So the Natural Hormone Solution Program, you can get started today for as little as $399, or choose the most economical investment of $997. And again, the link is in the chat. And so going back to our silent saboteur, right? The why bother syndrome. That's really important for us to ask and be honest, right? Sometimes the belief is it's too overwhelming, it's confusing, it won't work for me. Well, the antidote is here. Utilize a proven process that allows for customization so that you can take out the overwhelm. You can stop the confusion and start progression. The belief number 2, I can't stick with it. Well, this is why we have a built-in antidote. Include the mindset, behavior change support, and loving accountability with our live inspiration and amplification sessions, with our hormone balancing hypnosis, with doing the inner work that is going to allow you to be more empowered and stick with it like you never have before. Belief number 3, I can't experience true vitality and optimal weight as I get older. Well, the antidote is to surround yourself with evidence of possibility. Learn. It's so clarifying to see when you can put the puzzle pieces together in your body and say, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that this is affecting my body. This is affecting my vitality. Now I have a different possibility. And having examples of possibility with celebration with other women and other capabilities. I see someone's asking, do you provide testing or interpret other previous tests? We do. So in this program, we have trainings that describe how to interpret the test yourself. And we do have other options to discuss in your hormone review session for additional testing, like Dutch hormone testing, micronutrient testing, gut microbiome testing, if that's something that's of interest for you. Just like Deanna, she says, having this guidance has helped me identify my own needs and improve my health. I make time for healthy habits and I feel so empowered. I had always been an optimistic person and was struggling with thyroid challenges, which turned my life upside down. I was struggling to find answers and I knew I needed to focus. I gained knowledge and recognizing even more about nutrition that is best for my body. And now my energy is in a good place consistently. My whole family benefits because I feel so much better. So Deanna was another situation where she had been diagnosed with hypothyroidism, was really, really struggling with weight gain and just low mood and really fatigue. Young kids. And she's like, I need some more help. I need to put together more pieces of the puzzle, right? And we discovered some of the dynamics in her other hormone levels that were off, low progesterone, elevated estrogen, and what was critical to support her body to bring it back into balance. Changed completely the way she feels. So now you have a choice. You can decide if now is the time for you to get started in the Natural Hormone Solution Program. And I invite you to step forward. Just simply go to the link that's in the chat. I can put it in here again for you. And you can get started immediately. And you can take advantage of this opportunity now. So if you want clarity and direction, if you want to address your hormone imbalance at the root cause, increase your energy, have greater certainty and less struggle, have confidence in your plan, and create a vibrant future, then I invite you to join us. Thank you very much.